Falsely thoughts, race, life's a twisted place. No time.
Come on up, Joseph. Come on up.
Dude,
Yo, what's going on, Joseph?
sounds good.
My Tagafet. So let's go ahead and put the clock on for 25 minutes. You said, do I not believe anything outside of humanity? What do you
Well,
mean?
I'd like to talk in basic terms, not to confuse people, but
Yes.
basically what I'm saying is like, do you believe in anything like spirits, God, demons?
Okay. Now I see what you mean. No, I don't believe in spirits, gods, demons, none of that.
Okay. And based on what you're saying, do you feel like it pertains strictly to this country, North America, or is this something we could present to like other countries
Um,
worldwide,
I
globally?
I would say I don't think any spiritual or religious claim has met its burden of proof, because all of them, from what I've seen, are all still just claiming something, and none of them have actually shown it to be true. Like I'm Haitian, right? Your last name is Metalis. You Haitian too?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So my my granny used to. I'm pretty sure probably your granny or aunts or whatever. They used to do the voodoo. You know what I mean? They used to be in that too. So my granny was like did gay day and everything like that, but um she went to Gay Day Fest, the Gay Day Festival, all that good stuff. But the thing is, like those spirits as well, uh Legba, Israeli, Ogun, even though I appreciate them, even though I appreciate the entire system, because I feel like as black people, we should go back to our original spiritual system. And I do know that it gave them strength to fight off the colonizer. Is Erzurli and Shango and Ogun, are there actual entities that we can interact with? No, I don't believe that.
Okay. So you pretty much dispelled all that, like spiritual stuff, period.
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe any of that stuff is actually true or real. Because like at the end of the day, bro, if these voodoo spirits were real, like France would have got taken. They would be a third world country a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see
Because
where your mind is with that. I can see where your
Mhm.
mind is with it. So my question, all right, so um you may not remember because we used to talk about stuff back in the day when he did that was it over Skype? Uh used to do the videos and you asked me to come a couple times on there.
Oh yeah. I remember. What's good?
Yeah,
What's going
yeah, yeah.
on?
So I'm gonna come across I don't want to come across preachy because
Hmm.
I'm a PK. So I went through, you know what I'm saying, the got to be super close to Jesus and all that. And then growing up, went wild, did what I felt like I had to do. You know what I'm saying?
I know
So
how
I
that go.
come across, you know what I'm saying, and I know I'm back in church now. So um, what I feel and the understanding I got and things that I've seen, especially going to Haiti, um, they be talking about like Lugau and all that kind of stuff, right?
Hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was like, that's something they just pulled out of Goosebumps or Goosebumps pulled out of it, whatever. It's not real, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. But um my one thing that I know I've seen is a huge snake was found in a bathtub in Haiti. That wasn't supposed to be it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Close the door. The next morning, go to that bathroom, and the snake's no longer there, but the woman is.
Okay, so you went into a house. There was a like big ass snake there.
Yeah, well, people were screaming. That's what's
People
going on.
screaming.
People screaming. I ain't
Hmm.
going through the crazy details, but people are screaming,
Hmm.
right? Late night.
Hmm.
Everybody's like trying to find out what's going on. Huge snake,
Hmm.
massive snake is in the bathroom, right? They locked the snake in there, right? People are sitting outside the door, whatever, praying, all that stuff. And the next morning, while everybody's like still outside, nobody went in, nobody came out. We found the woman in there where the snake was.
You found a woman where the snake was.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So number one, we know that snakes exist in Haiti. and we know that snakes can get up to a certain size, right?
Facts.
Now, as far as the woman being there, if there are windows in the bathroom, anybody could climb in the bathroom and the snake could get out. You
Nah,
see what I'm
there
saying?
was no windows.
No windows, no doors, and everything like
There
that.
was a door, no windows.
There was a door, no windows,
Yeah.
and we're absolutely sure nobody went in there and just took took the snake out and went inside.
No. I'm not gonna say I'm absolutely sure. I'm because I was young,
Hmm.
right? So I fell asleep. I was scared, but I fell asleep.
Right,
But
exactly.
my mom was still up. My mom was
Mhm.
still up. My grandmother was there. They were both up the whole time.
Yeah, I
So
got you. The thing is whenever I hear these stories, right? Because my sister will have the same type of stories. I even had the same type of stories. The thing is, you ever notice that these type of stories always happen when we're younger and not when we're older and we're more skeptical.
yeah, I mean, I haven't been back to Haiti,
Right.
so I can't. That's my reason. That's my reasoning. But my
Right.
mother was of age, and
Mhm.
she was there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
R-
going off of like eyewitness statements, and I was in the vicinity, so I remember, but I didn't actually, like I said, I didn't stay up for it. So,
mhm.
um,
Yeah, exactly. No, like I feel you. One thing
oh
that
yes,
I've,
and Sage, the woman was alive.
yeah, I mean, I feel you. Here's one thing that has always bothered me, right?
Uh,
Even though these things like these stories that we hear of, because trust me, I appreciate African spiritual tradition. I appreciate all of it. My fiance is Jamaican, and she's told me about Jamaican Obeah before. I've had a friend who was a Cuban, and he told me about Santeria. I really appreciate African spiritual systems. I think they're beautiful, but every single time when they speak about like the power that these things have, from Nigerian juju to Brazilian Orisha worship, every single time where I ask, okay, can you actually replicate this type of stuff? I get it's always like, for example, there was a story of a Nigerian man, right?
uh,
He went around telling people, if juju is real, turn me into a cat right now, and I will give you $1,000. He went there with cash. It's $1,000. Do your juju, turn me into a cat, and this is yours. And everyone will walk away. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like you're being put up to the test now to actually prove you actually have this power. And I've done the same thing. Like I've had people tell me like they're gonna curse me or whatever. Not some go ahead and do the shit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, like turn me into a cat tomorrow. I wake up the next day, I ain't a cat. You feel what I'm saying? So
whatever.
it's always one of these things where I'm like, if this power is real, do something with it. You see what I'm saying? And the thing is, I don't deny people's experiences. You feel what I'm saying? I've always said that. I don't deny what you saw, what you experienced. I always question what you attribute it to, because like you said, like especially for adults, a lot of adults are already primed to believe this stuff. You see what I'm saying? So if you're already primed to believe it, I can do anything and tell you that it was the power that gave it to me. And it actually wasn't. You're just primed to believe it because I said so. You see what I mean?
So you believe a lot of things that we as humans tend to believe are things that we already are susceptible to believe.
Yeah, exactly. We're either susceptible to believe it or yeah, essentially that. A lot of things that we believe, especially when it comes to the spiritual context, we're already susceptible to believe it, which is why we've seen, Christians become Muslims, Muslims become Christian, because those religions are very, very closely related, even though both of them were denied that they're not, because they're both Abrahamic religion. They're already susceptible to believing either one.
Yeah, I mean, and in my opinion, like I'm not a religious based person. I'm a personal relationship type person, right? So I'm not gonna I'm never try to force anything I believe onto anybody else because you got to know them personally. Like you and your fiance, right?
Hmm.
You can't tell me. You can tell me she's like the greatest woman you ever met. Da 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 da. All that, right? I'm not gonna believe it because that's not. I don't have that personal relationship with her. You know
Yeah,
what
of
I'm saying?
course.
So when it comes to stuff like that, like how you feel about what you believe and don't believe, I can't force that upon you. I never tried to do that. But I also believe that I believe there's evidence of a God. Um, straight up just because everything exists. And maybe you might say it's pride, but I'd rather not believe that I came here by accident. Like, I don't feel like everything this happened by mere hope. Like
Mere
boom,
random chance,
perfect. Huh?
mere chance, right?
Mere chance. Yeah. That I don't believe that. And that's where I think a lot of people split.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, what I'll always say is that why not? Why couldn't everything have been here by mere chance? Because there's lots of things that happen on Earth by mere chance, like the lottery. The lottery is literally just mere chance. You see what I'm saying? But people win it.
Yeah, but I mean
So,
that's man-made.
Hmm?
That's man-made.
nah, yeah, the lot, the lottery in of itself, all the money that you put into it is man-made, but
Right.
the chances of you winning is not. That's pure chance.
Yeah, it's pure chance. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying,
So,
like the idea of the lottery though is like there's a certain number calculation, whatever, that you can hit that number, right? And
yeah,
let's be
exactly.
real. If nobody ever won the lottery, nobody would do it.
Nobody would do it. Exactly. You know
So
what I'm saying? But
they have to make the numbers hit.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's why, the lotto be getting up to $1 billion, because like no one hit the number yet. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? It's literally because of that.
Right.
But when it comes to things like life and the universe, the thing is, it's not really about it being on accident. It's really just pure chance. You know what I'm saying? And with the vastness of the universe with the universe being as vast and as expansive as it is, it's not surprising that there's going to be a planet that has life on it, because this universe is way more expansive than we haven't even um explored a fraction of 1% of 1% of a fraction of that 1%. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we really know almost nothing about what's outside of our local neighborhood. Our local neighborhood being the solar system.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and even within this solar system, there might be life on somewhere else, on like Enceladus or Europa. You ever heard of Enceladus or Europa?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, exactly. There might be life there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like or even microbial life, even if it's not complex like the fishes that we have here, it could be microbial. So when I've always asked people, when you say that you don't think you got here like by accident, I've always asked, what exactly do people mean by that? I mean by things like cosmology, Big Bang, evolution, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't believe in that theory. I feel like let's take time for example, right? When people say, this tree's been around for 70 million years, this country or whatever's been around for 1 billion years, whatever the situation is. I know I'm exaggerating, but whatever the situation is, in my context, God created Earth, right? And you might come to me and be like, all right, in that case, then Earth's probably like 4,000 years old, whatever. That's it. But we have evidence that these trees are this age. So how can you explain that, right? Very simply, if God lives outside of time, the concept of time, he could create the tree to look or be that age or whatever, because he doesn't live in time. So he'll be like, all right, here you go. Like, I don't believe, like, nobody could tell me that Adam was born an infant or created an infant. He was a full grown man when he was created. Right?
Okay. Three problems. Well, yeah, I think a few problems that I have with that. Number one, God living outside of time makes no sense, because everything within reality requires time, requires space. So we say that God exists outside of space and time. That's basically saying that God exists outside of reality, which is basically the same thing as saying God is not real. You see what I'm saying? That's why that definition has never made sense to me. His position of on time. But number two, why would he do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would a God that wants us to believe him and wants to believe that the earth is probably 6,000 years old, then create a tree that's more than 6,000 years old? Why lie to us? That makes no sense to do.
I hear where you're coming from, but I didn't say that he did that.
Right, but you said that
I said
he can. That could be a potential explanation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, but that explanation to me doesn't make sense, because it's like, why?
Why what?
Why would he do that? Like I don't see the motive in
basic
doing
answer
that.
I give you is he can. That's like, that's the honest truth. Like let's all right, let's be real. You have all this power, right? I'm gonna go comic book kid style with you. You're a superhero with all these powers, right? And you have the ability to take care of situations any way that you seem fit,
Mhm.
right? I heard you saying that God said, murder the husbands, the wives, men, women, and children, whatever, right? Because the reason behind it was what they were doing prior to that. If you had the capability to try to change a group of people over and over again, right? And you just see all them diving deeper and deeper into this situation, and nobody was like, there's like, yo, F off, whatever, we ain't trying to deal with you, none of that, right? What would you do in that situation?
Let them die off.
Tell
Because
them,
any people group who live, like if we take the let's say we if we take the Bible the way that they describe these people as the truth, right?
Mhm.
They were all just murderers, horrible people. They're gonna die off because no society is gonna function being that fractured. They're essentially gonna turn on each other, murder each other, not have any more children, and eventually go extinct. You see what I'm saying? There is no society on this planet where eating their own children is going to, produce a viable society. Because if you eat your children, you're never going to have any more children. Your whole species is going to go extinct. So if they're all telling me F off because we want to be these bad, terrible people, go ahead and do it. You're going to go extinct anyway. You see what I'm saying? Like I can just go ahead and leave them alone. I don't even have to wipe them out. Or I can, if I can deal with them any way that I want to, I can literally change their hearts because I've done it before.
yeah, but then the freedom of will,
What, free
freedom,
will?
yeah, free choice, whatever you want to say, you took that away from them.
Yeah, I can take that away from them because yeah, I mean, if we're dealing with comic book logic here, yeah, I can take free will away from them, or I can appear to them and say, "Do what I want, or I'll destroy you." You know what I'm saying? Or or I could just destroy all the adults and leave the children who I can annihilate, who I can, form into what I want to form. You see what I'm saying? Like it's there
Unless you're
are
a
other
fan of
options
something, but
there.
okay.
Yeah. It's I could be I could be Thanos. You know what I'm saying? There are other options there. But I want to get back with the evolution thing, right? Because you
Yeah.
said that you don't, because we only got about 10 minutes left. Because you said you don't really believe evolution, right? Let me
Yeah.
ask you, what do you think evolution says?
Um, damn, without the using the word revolving, it's just like the act of is a progression,
Mhm.
basically, from one point to another is evolving. So you started off. Let me use macro, kids to adults. That's a form of evolution.
Mhm.
Calculators, computers. That's a form of evolution.
Yeah, that is. But as far as uh human and animals and plant species, like you don't think that we evolved from, like, we have a common ancestor with like chimpanzees and gorillas?
No, fam, no. Uh-uh.
Okay. um Let me ask you this, right? I like to use this example.
Yep,
You have a hand, right?
yep,
5 fingers,
yep,
and they can grip,
yep,
and your thumb sticks out.
mhm,
It has a fingerprint, right?
yep.
Okay. There are only about 5, or I would say 6 other species on this planet that has the exact same thing: hand that grips, thumb with a fingerprint. You know what those are?
Think on the
Humans,
planet.
chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, bonobos. Oh,
Yeah.
and gibbons, I think. Gibbons and I think baboons. They're the only 6 or 7, and koalas. They're the only ones that have that. If we don't have a common ancestor, how would you explain that?
So I guess the easiest way for me to explain it would be everything was created for a reason, and everything has its own place. I I would ask you, why didn't they evolve with us?
They did.
They're not talking.
Right, because because what you need to understand about evolution is that evolution is not a ladder, right? It's not there's no end goal of evolution. Evolution is just what you evolution is basically what's best for your survival in that environment and what's going to be selected for in that environment, sexually or genetically or any or anything like that. It gets more complicated than what I'm saying because trust me, there's going to be someone in the
No,
comments
I
that's gonna
understand. Yeah, yeah, we're keeping it small. Yeah,
yeah, we're keeping it small. There's gonna be someone in the comments that corrects a lot of this,
yeah.
but basically the basics is survival and adaptation towards your environment and what's going to be sexually selected for your environment and what's going to be best for you. So there is no ladder here. There is no end goal. We're not the end goal of evolution. As a matter of fact, we're still evolving. There are still human beings who live in certain environments who whose body shape and whose like biology fits for that environment because they need to survive and it's sexually selected for. You see what I mean?
Okay, so I mean, I've seen images, I guess, of those type of people that you're talking about, and but they also evolved, right, to the point where we're similar. So, are you saying that the other primates that haven't just didn't need to do that, and we as humans weren't in those areas that we did evolve into?
Right. They didn't need to. Like for example, right? Let me give an example. And this is gonna be, I'm sorry for any biologists in the comments. It's not gonna be the perfect example, but I'm gonna give an example. Okay. Um, us and chimpanzees. Well, that's another thing. I would actually bring that up. Let me ask you this question before I explain us and chimpanzees. You know that humans have uh chromosomes, right? Like we have like I think 28 chromosomes. The second chromosome in humans is fused, meaning it's like this, like it's stuck together. It's a fused chromosome. The only other species on this planet that has a fused chromosome, chromosome two, is chimpanzees. They're the only one. Us and chimpanzees are the only one that have a fusion of chromosome two.
Okay.
That's absolute proof that we have a common ancestor. You see what I'm saying? If you were to say that we don't, you would have to explain how that came to be.
So, because we have that similarity with chimpanzees, that's why you think we have a common ancestor.
We're the only two. How is that possible without a common ancestor?
So you're basing that on off of evolution. I'm basing that off of creation.
Right, but how do you actually show its creation and not evolution? Because it's not just the genetic patterns. We also have fossils. We also have morphology. We also have our DNA, which is almost 98% similar. You just say that it was just all created that way. What about the fossils?
What about the fossils?
The
What about
fossils would show a progressive line of evolution from ape-like creatures all the way into human beings.
I feel like that's another topic. I feel like that's another topic.
It has to do with evolution, but it is another topic. But when it comes to your question of what made us different from chimpanzees, it is essentially environment. We do know that essentially there was a group of old world, not old world, but there was a group of these ape-like creatures probably millions of years ago who left the trees, and the ancestors of chimpanzees didn't leave the trees. We did leave the trees, and we lived in the grassland. Primates, that's the what I want to say, Sage. Thank you. Primates. We do know that there was a group of primates that left the trees and a group of primates that didn't. Apparently, the primates that did leave the trees became us, Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, uh, uh, Desnovians. I'm saying that wrong. Um, Australopithecus. I'm probably also saying that wrong. But yeah, basically the group of primates that left the trees became those species, all of which are dead now, and we're the only ones left. And the group of primates that didn't leave the trees became chimpanzees, gorillas, bonobos, orangutans, etc.
All right, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Maybe something you got to think about, or maybe somebody in the chat will know and tell me something later.
We have 2 more minutes, but go
What
ahead.
if it's the other way around? What if us as humans left certain areas and we reverted in order to compensate for living needs.
What if we reverted?
Yeah, let's say because I don't know, a group of people decided to go, live in the mountains or in a high area, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Higher elevated area, and trees and whatever to get around, right? Because when I think about it, you hear the word tailbone in situations like that, right?
Mhm.
Where did the tails come from? Is my question. And if that's your reasoning, right?
Mhm.
Is it possible that we grew them for a stint when they needed them and they no longer need them now?
Yes, that's why we have tailbones. We needed them for a while, and now we don't need them anymore. Now, as far as your question of, what if a group of humans, let's say 100,000 humans, went into the mountains and never came back down? Yeah, probably in about 10 to 20,000 years, you would see probably some differences between humans that stayed in the mountains and humans that didn't. Yeah, I mean, even now, there are, I think it's a group in either Tibet or I'm not sure if it's Tibet, Pakistan, or Bangladesh. It's one of those countries, but it's people who live in the high mountains. Their lungs are different because they can survive up there,
Yeah.
where our lungs are not. You see what I'm saying? So like that happens, and that's only a difference of like probably a few hundred years. You see what I'm saying? So like it does happen. You feel me? Like let's say 100,000 humans by the year 2040 go live on Mars. It's not gonna happen, but let's say by the year 2040, 100,000 humans go live on Mars. By the year 2125, those humans may be far different from the humans on Earth. They may be taller, they may have weaker bones, they may have bigger hearts because they have to survive the lower gravity, they have to survive all that. You see what I'm saying? That's what evolution does. Now, again, for any biologists in the comments, I know I'm being very simple. I'm being oversimplified, but we have to, kind of be. I'm not a biologist, y'all, so I have to explain this the best way I can. You know what I mean? Okay, but we are out of time, Joseph. You want got anything last thing for me?
No, I mean, hey man, like I said, I'm not gonna force something onto anybody else. I appreciate your time. I'm gonna believe what I believe, and I just hope eventually, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't cause actual rift amongst people to believe that way. That's it.
Yeah, man. No problem. I appreciate you, bro. Cheers.
All right,
Later. All right, y'all. I know we were having these long, drawn out discussions, but I do appreciate everybody being here. We're at 16K likes.